Good afternoon. The bell is chiming at the chapel, so it is 1 o'clock.
One bell.
One bell. Welcome
One
to
bell.
Padre's Ponderings.
One bell. Thank y'all for being here. Praise God.
A
Praise
little
God.
nip in the air out there.
Got up this morning, Mama said it's 50 degrees outside.
It was nice.
So I asked her, could I start wearing my sweater? She said, no, it's going to be 77.
We could wear it in the morning.
But I think in 2 to 3 weeks, probably first part of November, 1st of November, I'll be able to put
Sweater
the old sweaters
weather.
on. Kind of going down a little bit. I'm looking forward to that. I like my sweaters. Yep, I like my sweaters.
I have a question for you today.
A question.
So this question has come up 3 times.
Whoa.
Yes, from different people at different services.
Okay.
And they're curious as to when you end services, you say, go get 'em Tigers. So the question was, number one, why does he say that? Does that mean that he's a Clemson fan? And I said, well, I really don't know where that came from.
Just the whole idea is you're supposed to be, if I said go get them puppies.
That's not very aggressive.
No, it isn't, is it? But see, that's the idea. You come to church and, you're saying what?
You're getting
Go
filled
in
up.
peace to love and serve the Lord, see? And they're saying, thanks be to God. Oh, I'm glad I'm going to get out and be able to go and serve the Lord. And so I'm saying, okay, go get them, Tigers. Tigers excited, after it, That's what I mean by that.
Well, Pastor Jonathan, it's actually a line in one of the Spider-Man movies.
What?
And I said, I know that's not the reason, unless it was in the comic book when you were a kid and you read comic books, I don't know. But he told some youth that were at one of the Crosspoint services, and you said it, and they said, why does he say that? And he said, I think it's from the Spider-Man movie. Jonathan's big on the movies.
Jonathan's
so
covered.
they thought you were more hip than they thought you were.
I'm glad if they're going to be deluded about something, they're deluded about that. I never got into comic books. I had friends that were into comic books, but, and some of them collected comic books. As I remember, they're all different kinds. But I never got into comic books. First off, they cost.
Oh, that's true.
Coins were rare. And the closest thing to comic books was when my grandfather would take us to the movies on Rivers Avenue. There was a movie theater, and he'd take me on Saturday afternoon sometime to the movies. And they had these serials, Buck Rogers and stuff like that, that have 2 or 3 serials. And so each week they'd have another episode of the Buck Rogers or whatever the things were. So, and then you'd have the movie after that. You'd go to the movie and you could get up with a quarter. You could go that Saturday afternoon movie with a quarter and get into the movie, and you had the movie and the serial, they call them serials.
So was that before the actual movie?
Before, yeah.
So like our previews now, but
Yeah,
it was not a commercial.
No, I don't remember any previews. But you had a cartoon, and then you had the serial, and then you had the movie.
For a quarter.
For a quarter, and with that quarter, you got popcorn.
Well, that is not
But see, this is
what happens now.
1949, 1950. Things have changed.
Now it's about $50
Now it's
to have a
changed.
movie and popcorn.
And my grandfather was something. This is my maternal side. He drove a blue Nash. And that blue Nash, back in those days, car finishes were not what they were. And if you brushed up against his blue Nash, you would get blue color on your clothes. It would just come off. So anyway, he loved the wrestling matches, and they'd have wrestling matches at that Coliseum. It was a movie theater, but they'd have wrestling matches. No, it wasn't either. They had wrestling matches at a different place, but they'd have, and he called them wrestling matches. And oh man, every now and then he'd take me to those things, and they were loaded with crazy people in there. And they believed those people were doing everything,
That it was real.
That it was, oh yeah, oh this is serious. They believed those people were real what they were doing was real and all that. Just like my grandmama did with the soap operas. In the afternoon, as the world turns and the days of our lives, all that kind of stuff, you know. And Mammy she would talk to the people, you know. Don't believe him, don't believe him. Watch out, he's behind the door. She would talk to them like they were real live people. And boy, day after day, she's right there now, right there. Keep up with those people. And I bet you some of those people are still right there on those soap operas, still getting it. It's amazing to me.
Is. Some of them have gone off the air now, but yeah.
Yes, sir. Through the hourglass.
Like sands through the hourglass.
There you go. Yeah. Days of our lives. It had the hourglass on there, didn't it? And the sand was dripping through the thing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, both grandmothers watched that. 1 o'clock. Man. NBC.
Yes, sir. That's long ago and far
long
away.
ago and far away. That is true.
Wow.
Okay, not made up, and although drama. So what are you talking about this week in Elijah? Wednesday night teaching.
This week he's leaving the brook at Cherith and going to Zarephath. Going to talk about that and the widow and the fact that he has to go across the parched land to get there. And what most people don't even think about is that Jezebel and Ahab are after him. Mm-hmm. So where's God sending him? He's sending him to walk right straight through their territory and then go to Zarephath, which is in the territory of Sidon, where Jezebel came from. He sent him right straight into the heart of Baal worship.
Yeah, pagan.
For a heathen woman, widow woman, to take care of him. So I'm going to speak about all that and where he gets the guts to do that. And then what it's like to be there. Because see, what most people don't realize is he's there for 3 years. There's not a lot of verses in the scripture, but he's there for 3 years. So between the time he first speaks to Ahab, goes to the brook, heads up there, before he goes to it's 3.5 years that transpire in there. And it's 3.5 years of being humbled, and then humbled some more, and then humbled some more, and humbled some more. So that's what I'm going to be doing in that. And I've found, I think I'm going to work with this song, The God on the Mountain. I'm going to use that again this week. And I think I'm using each one of the teachings because it speaks to the train of thought through that Elijah passage in there. So I'll be working at Zarephath this kind of week. People seem to enjoy the supper last Wednesday night.
Barbecue chicken this week. We're having baked beans and pulled pork.
Hoop-de-doo. Big time meal. So if people come in, they came at 6:15 for the supper, and then I started teaching in the church at 7. And there were a number of people that came to the teaching, didn't come to the first part in there, and that's fine. But it was good. I enjoyed getting back into the teaching over there. Did that for years and years.
Isn't that
years.
one of your passion?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
the teaching part.
Yeah, I taught over there every Wednesday night for years. And we just started getting bigger.
Did you used to do like books of the Bible or?
Mm-hmm. And I've done Gospels.
Kind of varied.
Yeah, just change it up. Didn't do things like I'm teaching on a person now, or like Joshua before that. I didn't do that. I was working more with books of the Bible, mostly in the Gospels, Jesus' miracles, all those kinds of things. But I would teach every Wednesday night.
Do you still open with a joke?
No. Jokes have gotten tricky now.
Yeah, because that's true. That's very true.
I had some good jokes.
But now they can offend.
Yeah, now you got, So I had to ease away from the jokes. So I do my prayers, my ancient prayers that I use always, and then I'll use some music. But I had to get away from the jokes. And that's sad, but here's what it is. So.
Yeah, so we're working on Time and Talent, prepping for that, getting out the mailings. Hopefully it'll go out next week, and then we're working on the online survey, which is much, 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 much shorter this year, so super user-friendly to be able to click areas that you want to add to your serving. So and that's
You know-
really important.
You know, your mama told me this morning, she said that last night she ordered Christmas presents for the grand girls. So they'll be coming. She's taking to heart this thing about the shortage and stuff not on the shelves, so she's clicking. And so that's coming, and now she's figuring on the boys and
So
the
that
grandsons.
if you can order online, you can do your time and talent online too. Is that what you're going for here?
Oh, yeah. You know, hey,
Good
there's a
weekend.
segue right there. Let's come back onto the topic.
Also,
we were
I thought it was pretty good actually.
Yeah, really.
Also, if you can open an email, you can do it. It really is that easy this year.
And you know what, this time and talent is huge because we need volunteers. And we had a buku of volunteers before COVID. And now the volunteers have gone into the woodwork somewhere or another. And I know I know they're still around, but we got to get them to come out the woodwork.
So just for weekend services, it takes 130 to 150 people serving, because I mean we have so many different
And so
services.
the thing is, that sounds like a lot of people, but that's per weekend. So for 4 weekends a month, you've got to have 600 volunteers. Or otherwise, you got people who have to serve every week, and that's not possible.
Well, and they need to be in service.
That's right.
And
So
without serving.
So you know, that's a crowd of people.
Yeah.
That's a crowd. So we need to get some of the sitting saints to start standing up and pitching in. You know, people have been great about supporting the parish financially, really.
Yes.
They've been great about that. But it's more than that. So we really need to have people involved, not just financially, but in other ways too.
Speaking of being generous, I was over at the Mission Mall yesterday, and the food bank was, oh my goodness, that's an operation. Do not get in the way. But I was over there doing something else and was able to talk to Craig and just kind of check in with them. They had almost 400 bags of groceries donated last week,
Wow.
which was double from the week before. And just what they were able to give this week was just tremendous. And to see, I got there at 10, people already lined up to get a spot in the donation line.
And did they have the people doing prayers and giving away the God's gifts?
Not
stuff
when
and
I
all
was
that?
there, but because they come in the afternoon. But just a huge operation. And somebody shared with me, one of the neighborhoods has just a tremendous system they have drivers that go around the neighborhood, and they each take a week, and they will go out, they will go to front porches, grab the bags off of people's porches, go to the clubhouse, and then it's all loaded onto a trailer to then go to God's Goods for the donation. This is every week.
So they've got it organized where the people know,
If you want to
the bag
donate,
out or
put your bags out by your front doors. All you have to do. So I thought that was really neat to see how that neighborhood.
This past week I was here at the chapel and at Cross Point, and I watched people come into the chapel service, and they were bringing stuff for the food back there on their way into the worship service. Something new showed up this morning at the house.
Oh my.
Yes.
Protein bars.
I had, your mama, we had country style steak and mashed potatoes and lima beans last night for supper. I think
That was the real deal. You thought you died and gone to heaven.
And I think I'm on a roll now. We're off short rations. And then I get up this morning, and this was sitting out there. Now she just kind of
Slid it.
Kind of sat it out there, Mango almond fruit bar. And then you've got this key word, right? The name of it's keep. The key word in the middle of it is health.
Healthy, it sure is.
Healthy.
Maybe
So-
you haven't opened it, so you haven't tried it.
No,
Are
no.
you
Saving that for a
resisting it?
surprise, perhaps. She'd give me these little things at an afternoon snack, protein bar kind of stuff. So this says gluten guard, GMO guard, vegan certified. I don't even know what that symbol means right there. What is that symbol?
No dairy either.
No dairy in it. So I'm thinking
It's only fruit.
I'm going to open this up, and it's going to be like a piece of cardboard. You leave it out. Sugar, gluten,
You're leaving out
GMOs.
everything.
What is the U, right? What is the U for?
I have no idea. That's. It's got more symbols on this package than I know.
Anyway, this is certified for everything that you wish was on here, but it's not. That's what it is, see. So anyway, she got that, laid it out there for me just for a little snack later on. I don't know where she ran off on it. And then I looked over, and there's this box over there. And I said, what's in the box? She said, that's some more of the bars. So I'm thinking, I'm eating the mango almond fruit bars for a while here. Oh, my
Wow.
goodness.
Well, it balances out.
It has a picture of the
your
fruit on
meal
the front of
last
it right there.
night. It doesn't look like that.
No, it has a picture of all the fruit on the front. That's
Yeah.
so that you don't turn over to the back where all these other symbols
See what's
are
not
back
in there.
here. Whoa.
Yeah. So you were in heaven, dietary heaven last night. That's your favorite meal.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
country fried steak.
But it was a setup. So.
Did you even get rice and gravy?
No, it had mashed potatoes and gravy instead.
Oh.
This is good. This is good. I think that, I think your mother uses Bob Evans.
They have a good mashed potato.
Yeah, or something like that.
Okay, so you'll have to give us an update next week
Perhaps.
on how the
Perhaps, I don't-
mango, the healthy.
Mango almond fruit
Keep.
bar.
Keep Healthy is the name of the bar.
Cardboard, and they just run it by one of those scent machines that has mangoes in it, and another has, they just run it by quick, like that. But we'll see. But the intent is good.
Yes, it was very thoughtful for her to put a snack out for you.
Very thoughtful. And she wants to keep me around.
She
That's
wants
always
to keep
helpful.
you healthy.
She wants me to be healthy. So I'm encouraged. So,
So give us an update next Tuesday afternoon
I'll
on how
try to do
is.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably be a short update. That's what I'm thinking.
This
Yeah.
or this, like the Roman.
Could be, could be, could be. But had it here at the chapel this past Sunday, the group's growing and growing and growing. Really is. I think it's a good service at 9, and we're through at about 10, a few minutes before 10, something like that. But it's growing in numbers.
The Cross kids over at Cross Point, we're getting new families every weekend visiting. So I was able to greet some of the new families, help them with check-in, and then in the nursery had some new little people in there. And
Well, I
good
sent
to
a email, welcome to Ulrich.
one family that came, and their little girl was in the pre-K classroom and had a couple of new babies. So it's always fun to be in the back and to welcome the young families. And,
Had a good group over
which
there,
is
too.
also a really good plug. If you like kids at all, we need help
For nursery.
for nursery and
And
Sunday
Sunday school.
school. And if we had 12 people volunteer, you'd only have to serve once every,
Month.
I don't know, probably 6 weeks. Once every 6 weeks. But it's fun to see them, And if your grandkids don't live near here, it's a great opportunity to be with some little people,
Be with somebody else's grandkids.
to be with somebody else's grandkids and pour into somebody else's kids, which is really
Had a-
important as a church.
Had a lady join the church this morning. Used to live in Sun City, and then moved into the new place right there behind Cracker Barrel, Okatee Pines. And she said that when she was in Sun City, every now and then they'd see children who were visiting their grandparents and all that. But she says no children, hadn't seen any over there. She said that she's the youngest person in there. She's 68.
Okay.
So you have to be very careful. There's walkers and scooters everywhere. So she's watching her step. But just a really bouncy, zippy lady, and real glad to have her. Karen Lawrence, Diane Cervallo, and all the buddies who live there befriended her and invited her to come. And so she joined this morning.
Did she come to the night of worship? So I
Yeah,
knew
she
that
did.
somebody came to the night of worship and right afterwards wanted to join.
And at the night of worship also, there was a lady there, and Bonnie hooked up with her. They sat together, and she was back here at church on Sunday for the first time. You know, little things you just don't ever know. But there are a lot of folks out there, they're looking for fellowship. And ministry flows along the lines of relationships.
Absolutely.
You make a friend and become a friend to that person, and then you can invite them to other activities that are important to you. And you know, both these ladies had church backgrounds before they moved here, but they didn't have when they were here.
That's when you move to a new area, which I've done quite a few times, that is very intimidating to go to a church for the first time, and to shop for churches. And it's a long process too, because most often you have to wait till every Sunday, or it can take you a long time to visit.
When you were in Omaha, did y'all shop around a lot of churches out there?
A handful.
And then Fredericksburg?
Same thing. And most often that's word of mouth. So when you start to meet people in the neighborhood or whatever, where do you go? And that's how you can, because there can be a lot of churches. There are a lot of churches here.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know that people are talking.
So when you were shopping, what were you looking for?
We had little children at the time, so children's programs was a top priority for me. Women's ministry, Bible studies.
You were
really
teaching
important.
then too, weren't you? Or you weren't teaching then?
No, I had little ones at home.
When they got in schools, when you started teaching.
I went back, yeah. So this weekend, there's a lot going on in downtown Bluffton. I doubt that you'll participate, but a lot of people will.
Seafood Festival.
It's the Arts and the Seafood Festival. So, which is exciting, because we weren't able to have the Christmas parade, the Seafood Festival, whatever Mayfest, none of that last year. So they're able to bring it back this year. But with that comes a couple of challenges if you attend church on the historic campus. So in the e-news this week, and I'll put it on social media as well, there are a lot of roads that are closed. So please allow a little bit more time in arriving at services. Parking will be challenging, but we will have Rod Musselman, Roger Abney are going to be out there kind of helping. But the 528, so it starts Saturday. Well, it's been going all week. There are different things every day.
It's going on now?
They had the blessing of the fleet on Sunday afternoon down there at the dock. And then there's something at different locations every day this week. But then Saturday morning, starting at 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock, they shut down Calhoun Street, 46. Lots of roads are going to be shut down. So if you're coming to services on the historic campus, just allow for extra time. I would even encourage you, wear your name tag, so that when you come to the barricade and whoever is standing post, police officer usually, just let them know that you're going to services, and they're supposed to let you through, because our parking lot will still be reserved for church function.
The things don't come all the way down to where the church is.
No, it starts right there at Allen Street, Seven Oaks.
So it doesn't come in front of the Methodist Church either? No. Okay. So if people come down Boundary Street and turn on Water Street, they'll be in good shape.
Or Allen Street.
Yeah.
But
That's
allow for extra
heads up.
time for sure.
Good
And I
heads
think
up.
Pastor Jonathan mentioned it at services this past weekend. Pastor Josh will be at the historic campus this weekend, which is convenient. He won't have to drive over. He just walks across the parking lot.
There
So
you
that
go.
was good planning. But just allow for extra time, because there will be a lot of people, especially I would think because we haven't had it in so long.
Yeah. And those activities draw people from all around this area.
Oh, yeah.
And they have the people that do the crafts and all that. I mean,
This one's the arts one, so there'll be lots of artists all up and down Calhoun Street with their
And they'll come from all
booths
around.
and
That's kind of
tons
a
food.
circuit kind of deal there with that.
Lots of food. It'll smell good.
Reckon the fellow will be there with the lobster rolls.
Oh, yes.
From
You
years
can get those
ago.
any day. You don't have to wait for the festival. Not any day. There are certain days. That Sugary They have the lobster roll. It's tasty.
Your mother let me have one of those several years ago.
When y'all lived down there.
We lived down there.
Yeah.
And I think someone, maybe it was used, and maybe somebody, anyway, maybe it was Grace. Y'all walked down the street or something down there, and
Yeah,
didn't she like the lobster
She
rolls?
loves the lobster roll
there you
with
go.
butter.
And y'all brought one back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they got all kind of stuff though.
Oh my goodness.
To eat.
The food is yummy. It really is.
All
It's a
kind
fun time. A lot of people bring pets and it's fun.
Yep.
So if you're planning on going to the festival, that's wonderful. If you're planning on coming to church, that's even better. Just allow for extra time.
Yep. Yeah, because we're going to be having church services.
Yeah, we're
regardless
not closing for the festival.
regardless of all that. Yep. So what else have we got going on here?
We got a lot going on. That's a lot. That's basically what we've got this week. Pastor Nathan will be here preaching.
He's here.
Josh is over there. We have communion this week at Cross Point. So
Jonathan will be
looking
doing.
forward to that.
doing
Jonathan
that.
and Nathan will be over there for that. Yeah.
Got communion teams lined up for that.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Working on it.
It's always a nice service over there, and you get all those teams, and it goes real quick. And because it's a lot of people, if you didn't have multiple teams, it'd go way too slow.
Yeah, we're working on 6 stations this week. So,
It's wonderful.
all right. Well,
And I'll be on the other campus.
you'll be assisting Josh or celebrating,
Yep.
and Josh
I'll
will be
there with
preaching.
Josh. Yep.
Very good. We might have to carpool on Saturday night, so there's only one car.
Well, that's right, isn't it?
You allow for extra time as well.
Well, I do. I usually get that.
Yeah, you
hour
usually get
before.
there way early.
Yeah. I just like to get in and sit down and get my thoughts together and disconnect and hone in.
Pray and
Yeah.
that's
Try to do all
important.
that.
All right, well, you're going to go work on Elijah and
Yep.
many
Work on
other
Elijah.
things.
Do that. Got to work on the stewardship letter. Go through the mailing list for that. Got people doing all kind of stuff up there. Working on All Saints services. That's coming up that weekend, the 30th and 31st. That'll be good. And I'll be over there on the historic campus that weekend too, and Josh is preaching on All Saints Day. Then I'll preach the 2 weeks after that. Be good. Be good. Looking forward to it.
All right, well, you guys have a blessed rest of your day. Enjoy this weather. I love being able to throw on like a jacket in the morning and going about the day. So
She just reached in the
enjoy.
closet and grabbed
the
anything,
blue jean
didn't it?
jacket goes with anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where's that day
Except
and time?
maybe your ensemble, it wouldn't
No,
really
blue jeans wouldn't work with
no,
this.
It wouldn't work.
So anyway, tune in next week and find out about
Yes, something to look forward
the
to.
healthy mango almond fruit bar next week.
Have a great rest of your day and go in peace to love and serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.
I'll see you when I see you. Never doubt God's love for you or mine. Blessings.